draw a thin line, between you having your sanity and you losing it. This is how artists deteriorate.
Kendrick Lamar is officially quitting music. Here's why. Kendrick Lamar could be quitting music forever. A lot of fans have been speculating on some things that he has been saying, and it looks like it could be true. Stay tuned as we look deeper inside of why Kendrick Lamar is quitting music. You're not going to want to miss this.
A simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We will be giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's really your choice. So be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple. Go for it.
He may not have time for music anymore. Kendrick Lamar is a guy who has enough in life to do what he wants, and one such thing he wants to do is help others in their creative ventures. On March 5th, 2020, Kendrick Lamar and Dave Free announced the launching of PG Lang, which is described as a multilingual, artist-friendly service company. In a press release, Dave Free claimed that the company is not a record label, a movie studio, or a publishing house. This is something new. In this overstimulated time, we are focused on cultivating raw expression from grassroots partnerships. The announcement also featured a visual mission statement, a 4-minute short film starring Lamar, Baby Keem, Georgia Smith, and Yara Shahidi. This new venture could be the start of a beautiful thing for Kendrick Lamar, and if it fits with his desire to not be constrained by various thoughts or feelings about the industry he's in, he even started to dabble in acting via shows like Power. So as you can see, with these new ventures coming out, he may not have time for music anymore, or not as much time as he'd want, which brings us to, where's that new album? Pop quiz. When was Kendrick Lamar's last true soundtrack release? The answer is not in 2018 with Black Panther. He curated and helped produce that soundtrack, but it wasn't solely made by him. The answer is 2017, which was the date of the release for his 4th album. Since that point, he made the Black Panther soundtrack, and since then, nothing. He's been teasing that he's been working on a new soundtrack, but outside of that and some confirmations from rappers like Thundercat, we've been given no clue or timing or release window for the new album. So perhaps the biggest reason that he's leaving music is that he doesn't have any more music to make.
Ye Sayer has officially filed a lawsuit against Kendrick Lamar and The Weeknd, according to reports announced on February 24th.
Lawsuit issues. And yes, Kendrick Lamar has faced his own difficulties in the past. In fact, in the recent past, Lamar was the voice behind much of the soundtrack for the hit movie Black Panther. And by hit movie, I mean it was a global box office smash that crushed numerous box office records and made over $1 billion. And one of the songs from the Black Panther soundtrack was All the Stars, which saw Lamar team up with fellow singer and rapper SCA. It was actually the first single from the soundtrack, and everything was fine until they made the music video for it. In the music video for All the Stars, SCA and Lamar were accused of using art that wasn't theirs. Specifically, they used art from a well-known artist named Lena Iris Victor.
My name is Lena Iris Victor. I'm a conceptual artist, a performance artist, and a painter. I guess the consistent palette or materials I use in my work are gold.
According to the lawsuit, Victor was contacted for the Black Panther movie as they wanted to use some of her art for the film, but she said no. Then the movie crew tried to get her to make new pieces specifically for Black Panther, but she said no again. For the All the Stars video, Lamar and SCA apparently had pieces of art made that were very similar to her own style, and she saw this and sued them for copyright infringement. It was only very recently that the two parties settled out of court, but this is something that should be taken very seriously. Copyright infringement is a very serious matter, and while it can be ensured that Lamar and SCA learn from this, you almost have to wonder if they're going to take these kinds of risks in the future in regards to trying to pay tribute to others in their videos. Rappers and singers have left the game after their own battles with the law to ensure that they don't have to mess with it again. Could this be the fate of Lamar? It's very possible.
Wait. Am I not cool enough for you? What's up, bro?
Controversies. He has a stigma put upon him because he's part of the rap genre, and if he left it and sang in another genre, one of the other main stereotypes about rappers is that their lyrics are some of the most controversial things around. And to be fair, most of them are. Kanye, Jay-Z, Eminem, Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, Post Malone, and so many more make their name on controversial lyrics, and Kendrick Lamar is no different. However, his lyrics are controversial because some people don't understand exactly what he's singing about at first, and that's gotten him into trouble with parts of his fan base. A great example of this is that in 2015, he had a song called The Blacker the Berry, and in it, he sang the following lyrics. So why did I weep when Trayvon Martin was in the street? And gangbanging make me blacker than me, hypocrite. You might be able to infer the meaning of the line, but a lot of people didn't. In fact, the African American community actually lashed out at Lamar for his lyric, claiming that he was condemning their actions over the incident that rocked the whole nation. But that wasn't the case. The line was actually one of self-reflection, and Lamar explained that in an interview. It's not me pointing at my community, it's me pointing at myself. I don't talk about these things if I haven't lived them. And I've hurt people in my life. It's something I still have to think about when I sleep at night. But the controversies over his lyrics didn't stop there. In the hit single Humble, Lamar sang a line about how beauty in the world is now done in programs like Photoshop instead of in the natural beauty of a person, singing, "I'm so sick and tired of the Photoshop, show me something natural like Afro on Richard Pryor, show me something natural like with some stretch marks." Here he's clearly condemning the beauty market for making people look so perfect in ads and billboards, not unlike how a Dove commercial once showed the process of making a model worthy of billboard ad and not supporting the natural beauty of a person. But to many it seemed as though Kendrick Lamar was condemning beauty products in general, and thus he was insulting anyone and everyone who ever used them. But that clearly wasn't the case. It didn't stop people though from hurling insults at Lamar, or SCA, who sang with him on the video. It actually got so bad that there was a model in the music video for Humble, and that model got attacked on social media. So what does this have to do with Lamar leaving rap? Simple. He has a stigma put upon him because he's part of the rap genre. And if he left it and sang in another genre, he could escape the trappings and controversies that people are expecting from it. To be fair, there are plenty of other singers and artists that have their own controversial lyrics. Even beloved darlings like Taylor Swift have a controversy or two with lyrics every once in a while. But for Lamar, the escape from the microscope that is placed on his songs would be a great release for him. It may seem like a minor issue, but if you had people saying your songs were bad because of their intent and they were just misinterpreting, wouldn't you be mad about it? Would you be frustrated that they weren't seeing what you were trying to express?
It starts here first. If you're not mentally there, you're already defeated.
The desire to maintain the image is stressful. Lamar doesn't need that stress. Mumble Rap Part 1. You might think that just about every OG rapper out there wants the mumble rappers to shut up because of some personal beef or the like.
For so long, I'm glad they succeeded, man.
Hey man, you guys are nominated tonight. Have a good show.
Yet there are many who take a more peaceful approach to these singers. Some of them want to give them a chance. A great example is Kendrick Lamar, who has been very big recently thanks to a soundtrack for Black Panther, as we said earlier, and more. In an interview, he noted how he feels about the younger rapper generation. "I want hip-hop to continue. That's why I can't shun a lot of the artists that may not be a Kendrick Lamar," he went on. "But this is what I tell them every time I see them. Be yourself and do what you do, but also know who laid down the groundwork," he continued. "Don't go on your interviews and diss them and say you don't like them and you don't care for them. That's your opinion, that's cool, but you have to respect them. So talking down on the folks that inspired us to do this, it'd never be right. You dig what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, as long as you be who you are, but respect what got us here, that's how you continue to evolve." Very inspirational and very true to what many young rappers could and should do, but sadly that doesn't happen very often.
Luda, Fast and the Furious geek, playing, role-playing.
If you look at mumble rappers like 6ix9ine, Lil Pump, Blueface, and more, they take shots at the OGs whenever they can because they feel they have the right to, even though they don't for numerous reasons. But will that stop them? Unfortunately not. Still, it's good to see that Kendrick Lamar has hope for the future, even if many OGs won't give them that much of it. Mumble Rap Part 2. So you might think that because of his desire to see the world of hip-hop and rap evolve, that he wouldn't want to leave it just yet, right? Thus retiring and quitting music is not likely to happen, right? Well, yes and no. Mainly in the fact that Lamar does want the genre to evolve, but you could also argue that if he doesn't see the genre evolve, he won't want to be a part of it. It's true that making music is its own reward, but when you see the world of music doing something you don't want to do, or being constrained to do certain kinds of music with a genre, you'll want to get out of it really quickly. A great example of this is Taylor Swift. She set the world on fire with her country songs, becoming America's sweetheart in the process, but eventually she felt constrained and left to do pop style music and has been rocking it her own way ever since. So could Kendrick Lamar be heading down this path? It's possible, and time will tell whether it leads this way or leads another way. Mumble rap is growing and more compounding lyrical rappers are fighting against this trend by showing how this is done. Lamar could be a signal for them, or he could simply decide to stop with what he has done. Another plus is getting out of the spotlight of other rappers who don't like what he does.
You know, when I went in and did the verse, I thought I was just having fun. and you know, these cats I know, and I'm, you know,
Where's the beef? Despite his acclaim of being one of the best singers of his generation, Kendrick Lamar isn't above being a true rapper and getting into feuds with various singers. In fact, throughout most of his career, he's had an on-again, off-again feud with Drake, you know, one of the other best singers of his generation. This all started when Lamar was brought onto the song called Control, and he said a lyric that he was going to kill his competition, in this case meaning he was going to bury them all beneath his skill and words. Many rappers came forward after this and dissed Lamar for his boldness, mainly in diss tracks aimed at him. Drake took a bit of a high road and just did an interview where he dismissed the line and talked about how Lamar would never bury him, ever.
You know, like that verse was a moment to talk about. Are you listening to it now, at this point in time? Okay. And then it was real cool for, like, you know, a couple weeks. But, like, if I asked you, for example, like, how does that verse start?
And so the feud started, and it's actually continued to this day in many ways. The two trade barbs in their songs in order to one-up the other. This ties into Lamar's departure quite simply. He's proven his worth, and it's kind of obvious he's not as big as Drake, who's double Lamar's current net worth, so he likely wants out. But if he just stops, he'll look weak. So if he gets out of the rap game entirely, while still on top, which he technically is, no one will fault him for ending the feud he has. Plus, feuds are tiring, and the desire to maintain the image is stressful. Lamar doesn't need that stress, but he'll have it as long as he's a rapper.
Kendrick, you're about to hit the stage. Not only you, just the whole TDE fam. Just to see all of you.
Success and fame and retirement. Aside from getting recognition, every single rapper or singer in the world wants to have fame for their works. And in that regard, Kendrick Lamar has succeeded in every way that matters. He began his career in California under the name K. Dot and worked hard to build up a following via the online music community. He joined the indie label Top Dog Entertainment to get even more fame. And along the way, he worked with a lot of rappers that appreciated his work, including rapping legends like Busta Rhymes and Snoop Dogg. By the time he started releasing major albums, his success was already guaranteed, but it soon went beyond that. He started being called one of the best of his generation, if not the best. He was praised for all manners of his music. He even won a Pulitzer Prize for one of his albums. The rap album got him a Pulitzer Prize. That's impressive. Just as impressive is that Kendrick Lamar has had numerous Grammy nominations in his career. He's won 12 of them, including 2 for Best Rap Album of the Year. In terms of all the awards, he's won 122 out of 300 nominations. That's nearly a 50% win rate. What does this all have to do with him leaving rap? Well, the good times won't roll on forever, and he's likely very aware of that. Instead, he can use the fame and success he's got to take a step in a new direction, a non-music direction. He's clearly thought of it, but with all the success and fame he's gotten, it might be time to see what's next for him. Plus, as of 2020, his net worth is over $75 million, which is more than enough money to not just get things done, but to step away from it all and live a life of happiness with himself, his family, his friends, and of course, his music. Money may not be able to buy you happiness, but it can buy you peace of mind, and that might be something that Lamar wants more than anything, a peace of mind.
Man, I'm overwhelmed. Y'all got to give me a second.
In front of City Hall, he praised the children performing his music and the city that raised him.
Preparing for the future. If the modern age of rapping has shown us anything, it's that if you stay inactive, you're basically welcoming the end of your career. For example, if you're putting yourself at risk to not do better, then you'll fade out while other rappers come in and take your place. So many rappers have learned to take their fame, money, and popularity and apply it to other endeavors.
Man, it's nothing better on a gloomy day, a good blanket, a warm man, give me some pumpkin brisk.
Ice Cube is an actor, producer, and movie star in many respects, even directing a few films and TV shows. Kanye West has a very successful clothing line. Even 50 Cent has turned desire into profitable business and is a star on the hit Starz show he helped create called Power. And it looks like Kendrick Lamar is doing the same thing. This was noted in a spotlight done on him in the LA Times. Lamar talked a lot about his music, but refused to elaborate on his next album. Instead, he talked in a different way. He's friendly but cryptic, inclined toward vague generalities open to interpretation. He's been writing long form, but declines to articulate what it's about, what themes are reoccurring, and in what form it will eventually see release. He claims he hasn't been working on a new album, but says that he's constantly working. Someone in his camp mentions they're going to the studio immediately after this. This brings up an obvious question. If he's not working on an album, what is he writing long form about? The answer to this may come in the form of Black Panther, for he has apparently become good friends with its director, Ryan Coogler, and the plot of the film apparently made a connection with him in a way he didn't expect. The film's theme reminded me of Why I Made to Pimp a Butterfly. It was survivor's guilt. You want to be homegrown and help folks back home and give them game. You want to be there for them, but if you're there, you can't go out and explore. In the film, T'Challa the Black Panther had to become the king of his nation, and when he did, he had to fight the urge to be the warrior, and instead be the king his people needed, all the while being the diplomat and other things that the world needed him to be. It was only by breaking down the old ways set down by his father and past kings that he was able to show what the nation of Wakanda really was, including via a powerful end credits sequence about building bridges. So it seems as though Lamar is eager to build up his own path. He clearly wants to make music to an extent. He doesn't want to leave his homegrown nature, but in return, he doesn't want to be bogged down, which is something many modern rappers and singers feel. There's always a desire to do more, and after the rise of Black Panther in theaters, he might feel that it's better to do something new and refreshing, rather than just sing the same old songs that him and many other rappers are more than capable of doing on their own. Sometimes a new dream can replace one that you've had for a long time, and there's nothing wrong with that. The only question is, are you strong enough to see that new dream through? Kendrick Lamar definitely has that strength. Thanks for watching. Do you think Kendrick Lamar is going to leave the rap world? Which of these points do you think will lead him onto a different path? Let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to subscribe. I'm King Trending, and I'll see you next time.